The illusion of knowing. There was a time when saying "I don't know" was respected. Knowledge moved slowly, through books, mentors, and institutions. Today, answers appear instantly. AI summaries, social feeds, and search bars create a dangerous illusion that access equals understanding. Everyone sounds informed, yet fewer people can explain why things work. This is where the death of expertise quietly begins. When expertise had friction, historically, expertise required friction. Years of study, peer review, failure, and correction filtered weak ideas out. Encyclopedias took decades to compile. Academic papers moved slowly for a reason. That slowness wasn't inefficiency, it was quality control. When knowledge was hard to obtain, it was treated carefully. Scarcity created respect, and respect preserved depth. The internet changed the equation. The internet shattered scarcity. Suddenly, information became abundant, cheap, and fast. Google didn't just answer questions, it changed how humans approach knowing. Instead of learning, we learned how to look things up. This shift was subtle but profound. Cognitive scientists later observed that people began outsourcing memory to devices, trusting retrieval over understanding. Access replaced mastery. As access grew, mastery quietly declined. Studies in cognitive psychology showed that people who expect information to be available later retain less of it. Knowing where to find answers replaced knowing the answers themselves. This wasn't laziness, it was adaptation. But it also meant fewer people built the deep mental models that true expertise requires. Social media rewards confidence, then came social platforms. Algorithms didn't reward accuracy or nuance, they rewarded certainty, speed, and emotion. A confident wrong answer traveled further than a cautious correct one. Experts trained to hedge, qualify, and explain uncertainty suddenly sounded weak online. Meanwhile, simplified takes gained massive reach, training audiences to equate confidence with competence. Enter AI summaries. AI accelerated this trend dramatically. Large language models can summarize complex topics in seconds, removing the struggle that once forced comprehension. Users receive polished explanations without grappling with the underlying logic. Research from MIT has shown that reduced cognitive effort during learning leads to weaker understanding, even when people feel more informed afterward. Confidence inflation effect. Psychologists call this confidence inflation. When tools provide fluent explanations, users overestimate their own understanding. You've seen it. Someone reads one AI-generated paragraph and debates professionals with certainty. The Dunning-Kruger effect, where low knowledge breeds high confidence, doesn't disappear with AI. It scales. Faster tools amplify cognitive blind spots. Why experts sound less certain? True experts know the limits of their knowledge. They speak probabilistically, reference uncertainty, and avoid absolutes. But in a speed-driven media environment, this sounds hesitant. Research from the Reuters Institute shows audiences increasingly distrust nuanced explanations, mistaking intellectual honesty for weakness. Expertise doesn't vanish, it gets drowned out by louder simplifications. The public square empties. As discourse degrades, many experts withdraw. Scientists, doctors, and economists report avoiding public platforms due to misinterpretation and hostility. Pew Research shows declining expert participation in online debate. The result is a vacuum filled by influencers and confident generalists. Public conversation doesn't lose information, it loses calibration. The central question: so the problem isn't that people are stupid. It's that systems reward speed over depth, confidence over competence, and output over understanding. AI didn't kill expertise, but it exposed how fragile it already was. The question now is not whether expertise is dying, but whether society still knows how to recognize it. Knowledge for everyone, the promise was noble, knowledge for everyone everywhere. Online courses, open journals, and forums removed gatekeepers. Barriers fell. Learning accelerated. But democratization blurred a crucial line, the difference between exposure and expertise. Seeing information is not the same as training the mind to interpret it. When everyone gained access, fewer gained depth. The rise of the explainer class. As platforms grew, a new figure emerged: the explainer. Not researchers, not practitioners, but translators. They condense complex ideas into threads, videos, and slides. This helped spread ideas fast, but often stripped away assumptions, limits, and uncertainty. Over time, explainers gained more visibility than creators of knowledge, quietly inverting authority. Simplification becomes distortion. Cognitive science shows that simplification aids learning, up to a point. Beyond that, it distorts reality. Complex systems like economics, medicine, or AI resist clean explanations. Yet platforms favor clean narratives. Studies from Stanford note that oversimplified explanations increase recall but decrease accuracy, creating confident misunderstanding instead of informed insight. Everyone has a platform. Democratization didn't just give access to knowledge, it gave access to audiences. Publishing once required editors and review. Now anyone can broadcast instantly. This flattened credibility signals. A Nobel laureate and a motivated amateur share the same visual real estate. Without strong filters, audiences judge expertise by presentation, not depth. Engagement replaces evaluation. Platforms measure success through engagement, not correctness. Likes, shares, and watch time become proxies for truth. Research from the Edelman Trust Barometer shows people increasingly trust someone like me over institutional experts. Familiarity beats credentials. Over time, emotional resonance replaces methodological rigor as the standard for belief. The shortcut mentality. When answers arrive instantly, patience erodes. Learning becomes transactional: question, answer, move on. Educational psychologists warn this reduces desirable difficulty, the mental effort required for durable learning. Without struggle, understanding remains shallow. People feel informed but cannot transfer knowledge to new situations, an invisible failure that only appears under pressure. AI makes it effortless. AI removed the last remaining friction. Summaries, explanations, and opinions appear instantly, tailored to sound authoritative. But effortlessness is deceptive. MIT research on AI-assisted writing shows users produce fluent output while retaining less conceptual understanding. The mind skips construction and jumps straight to consumption, weakening expertise at its foundation. Opinion masquerading as knowledge. As expertise thins, opinion fills the gap. Confident takes spread faster than careful analysis. Social psychology shows humans confuse repetition with truth. When AI-generated explanations echo across platforms, they feel validated. What emerges is consensus without verification, a collective illusion where familiarity replaces evidence. Institutions lose their voice. Universities, journals, and professional bodies still produce knowledge, but struggle to compete for attention. OECD reports declining trust in institutions correlates with increased reliance on informal sources. Expertise doesn't disappear, it becomes invisible. The loudest voices dominate, not the most accurate, reshaping public understanding from the outside in. The trap revealed: democratization wasn't the enemy. The trap was assuming access would naturally produce wisdom. Instead, it produced speed, confidence, and noise. Without new ways to signal depth, society drifted towards surface-level knowing. The stage is now set for AI to accelerate this imbalance, unless humans learn to recalibrate what expertise truly means. The moment AI crossed the line, AI didn't just speed up research, it replaced the process of thinking. When systems began generating answers, explanations, and opinions instantly, humans stopped wrestling with problems. Cognitive effort dropped. According to MIT research, users working with AI felt more productive while scoring lower on conceptual understanding tests. Feeling smart replaced being informed. Why AI sounds so convincing? Language models are trained to sound fluent, confident, and coherent, not to signal uncertainty. That's why wrong answers often feel right. Stanford researchers found people rate AI explanations as more trustworthy than human ones when tone is confident. Fluency triggers credibility. The brain mistakes clarity of language for clarity of thought. Confidence without competence. This creates a dangerous gap. Confidence rises faster than understanding. Psychologists have long studied the Dunning-Kruger effect, but AI supercharges it. People consume AI summaries and feel up to speed without building mental models. It's why someone can debate climate models confidently after reading one polished paragraph. Real life, you've seen this, you notice it when a colleague confidently explains a system they can't troubleshoot. Or when someone quotes AI-generated health advice but can't explain risks. A 2023 Nature study showed 30% of users couldn't detect AI-generated inaccuracies yet rated their confidence higher than before exposure. Knowing felt complete, even when it wasn't. Speed erases humility. Expertise once required humility, knowing what you don't know. AI erodes that. Answers arrive too fast to trigger doubt. The pause where reflection lived disappears. Researchers at the University of Cambridge found reduced metacognitive checks when AI assistance was present. Translation: people stop asking, could this be wrong? Why experts now sound slow. Experts think in layers, exceptions, and probabilities. AI outputs linear confidence. In fast media, careful thinkers appear hesitant. Pew Research shows audiences prefer decisive explanations over nuanced ones, even when accuracy drops. Expertise becomes a disadvantage in attention markets. The smartest voice often loses to the clearest soundbite. The collapse of depth. Depth requires time, reading sources, resolving contradictions, sitting with uncertainty. AI removes these pauses. OECD studies link heavy automation of cognitive tasks with declining problem transferability. People perform well on familiar tasks but struggle with novel ones. Depth is invisible until the system breaks and no one knows why. The productivity illusion. Organizations love AI because output rises. But McKinsey reports show productivity gains often mask declining independent reasoning. Employees complete tasks faster yet rely more on tools. When AI fails, teams stall. It's like GPS. Great until it stops working, then suddenly no one remembers how to read a map. Expertise becomes silent. As shallow confidence dominates, real experts retreat. Studies in science communication show scientists reduce public engagement after repeated misrepresentation. The result is ironic. The more information available, the fewer qualified voices remain active. Expertise doesn't lose validity, it loses oxygen in an environment optimized for speed. A turning point. This is the inflection point. AI didn't kill expertise, but it exposed society's addiction to speed and certainty. Confidence now travels faster than comprehension. The danger isn't wrong answers, it's answers that stop people from thinking further. What comes next depends on whether humans relearn how to slow down deliberately. Slowing down becomes a skill. In an AI-saturated world, speed is no longer the advantage, control is. Cognitive research shows deliberate slowing improves reasoning accuracy. When answers arrive instantly, choosing to pause becomes a competitive skill. High performers aren't rejecting AI, they're inserting friction on purpose. Thinking better now starts with resisting the reflex to accept the first answer. Use AI as a challenger, not an oracle. Experts who thrive treat AI as a sparring partner. Instead of asking what's the answer, they ask what am I missing? Studies on active learning show that challenging output strengthens understanding. When users interrogate AI responses, retention improves. The tool becomes a cognitive mirror, revealing gaps instead of covering them with confidence. Rebuilding mental models. True expertise lives in mental models, not summaries. Research from cognitive science shows people who construct explanations remember more than those who read them. A practical shift. After using AI, restate the idea in your own words. If you can't explain it simply, the understanding isn't there yet, no matter how fluent the answer sounded. Depth over volume. AI encourages consuming more information faster. But neuroscience shows memory degrades when intake exceeds processing capacity. Fewer inputs, deeper engagement wins. People who limit sources and revisit ideas outperform those who skim widely. Thinking better means choosing depth over novelty, especially when novelty is infinite and depth requires intention. Protecting attention deliberately, attention is now the scarcest resource. Pew Research links constant task switching to reduce reasoning and higher stress. AI tools save time, but notifications steal cognition. High-level thinkers batch AI use, separating creation from consumption. Attention protected becomes thinking amplified. Without boundaries, even the best tools degrade mental performance. When AI improves creativity, AI doesn't kill creativity, it reshapes it. Studies in design and writing show creativity increases when humans cure it, not generate blindly. The best results come when AI produces options and humans choose directions. Creativity survives not in speed, but in judgment. The human role shifts from producer to editor, from generator to strategist. Learning becomes continuous again. Expertise was never static. OECD research shows adaptive learners outperform specialists who stop updating models. AI accelerates knowledge change, making continuous learning essential. The difference now: learning focuses less on facts and more on frameworks. People who update how they think stay relevant longer than those who only update what they know. New signals of expertise. In the AI era, credentials matter less, but process matters more. Experts reveal how they reason, not just conclusions. Transparency becomes trust. Audiences increasingly respect thinkers who show uncertainty and revision. The signal of expertise shifts from authority to clarity of thought, from status to demonstrated reasoning under uncertainty. Teaching as proof of understanding. One of the strongest tests of expertise is teaching. Cognitive studies show explaining concepts to others exposes gaps instantly. People who use AI to learn, then teach the idea, publicly or privately, retain far more. Teaching converts passive consumption into active mastery. In a noisy world, explanation becomes differentiation. AI makes thinking optional, but not irrelevant. Those who outsource everything lose agency. Those who choose when to think deeply gain leverage. The future doesn't belong to the fastest thinkers, but to the most intentional ones. Mastery now means knowing when to use AI, and when to override it with human judgment. The death of expertise reconsidered. Expertise isn't dead, it's misidentified. In a world optimized for speed, real understanding hides behind quieter signals, patience, doubt, and depth. AI magnifies both wisdom and ignorance. The difference lies in how we use it. If this documentary sharpened your thinking, like the video, subscribe, and stay curious. Depth is still a choice, and it still wins.